Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. You can see I got CNBC in the background there. We're going to talk about SpaceX in this one, the overall market. Listen, I want you to know that earnings have been great. Earnings have been really, really, really great. And earnings for all of these companies has been great. Even SpaceX was surprising to all of us. And I don't care who you are, they did some impressive earnings. But there is a huge problem with SpaceX. It is massively, if you ask me, massively overvalued. But you got to remember what happened with Tesla when it was started. You got to remember the capex spend. You got to remember how much money Tesla, was spending to get their infrastructure to do these mega plants. We have short memory, and they weren't cash positive for years, but people just wanted in, and they began to buy at crazy evaluations, again, with no money, no earnings. Okay. And I was one of those who started buying in early 2020 before they can really prove anything. But SpaceX is different, so we're going to get into that. I'm filming this about 25 minutes before closing bell. Just got off a flight. I'm here in the ATL, going to meet a group of ladies who put something together. And we're just going to teach for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to stay here for InvestFest. So hopefully I'll see you guys if you're here. So SpaceX is a hyperscaler, all right? And you know they keep saying, oh, too much spent. Well, not enough. China is ahead of us. And then boom, when the market is green, oh, hey, we got to stay ahead of China, and we need to spend more money. We got to stay ahead. And then when there's too much money spent, they start talking about the capex spend. It's too much. There's no revenue. And this is an investment. This is an investment zone, right? And we're not just investing in a .com. We're investing in a new revolution. This AI thing is not coming. It's here. It is here. You guys are chatting. You're doing Grok. You're doing Claude. You're doing, just creating movies and music, and it's going to touch every single aspect of your life. It is, okay? So now let's go to SpaceX. It ran up as much as $226. So let's just say 225, okay? Because it wicked up. Somebody bought it at 226. Somebody bought it at 105, okay? None of those two knew exactly where it was going. The one that bought it at 225 or 224 or 226 was just a chaser. But down the road, they will be positive, because I believe SpaceX is short-term bearish and long-term bullish. Why? How do I say that? Because the valuation is insane. The valuation was evaluated at over $1 trillion, and the true evaluation is in the billions. So you make that make sense to me. Okay, here's what I think is the biggest headwind to SpaceX. We know that the unlocks are going to start. They're going to start immediately. They're going to start the unlocks right now. Okay, and I want you to look at yesterday's video, or the video I did before this. I showed a schedule of all of the unlocks. The unlocks are going all the way till next year, okay? What are the unlocks? People that couldn't sell their shares, okay? So you got the people, and then you got companies, and then you got Elon himself. All of these different, like 5 major or 6 major unlocks that's going to dump millions and millions of shares of this stock onto the market. But as I make this video, it is going up. It is actually drifting up. So here's one of the major reasons why SpaceX is running up, guys. You got to look at the options market, okay? Two specific massive multi-leg trades caught Wall Street's attention during Thursday's session, which is today, right? The multi-million dollar put, sell, and call buy, okay? A sophisticated block trade went off where an institutional player sold 3.5 million worth of $75 strike put options expiring January of 2028, okay? They simultaneously used the capital to buy 185 strike calls options of the same January 2028, okay? So some of these guys were losing and they're covering a separate massive $20 million bet on a 330 strike calls expiring this week also remains open in the background. Wow. Through analysts believe it is likely a bank hedging short stock or volatility exposure. So this, I believe, is what's causing SpaceX to run up right now before the first unlock. So I'm going to say if you're buying it at 110, you're fine. I'm going to say if you're buying it at 105, you're fine. I'm going to say to the people that bought at 225, you're just going to have to hold longer because this is a long play for me. If you ask me, this is a long play. I believe Elon is going to dominate space. I believe that he's going to be the biggest real estate owner of space, okay? And everything and all of the companies, look at what he's doing with Starlink, just launching all of these satellites up in the air, and then soon it'll be the moon. And I believe that SpaceX is going to be the forefront of that, okay? So I took a few notes here. I talked about it being a hyperscaler. I talked about the range that has been already with before the earnings. You have a range from 226 and a drop all the way down to 105. Before earnings report, that is concerning for the people short term that bought it along, on the IPO, right? I talked about the CapEx and it's massively spent. Okay, the earnings was surprising because Starlink is really, really ramping up. It's an 80% chance. We guess this. You know how they take these surveys. Survey says 80% of people think that Tesla is going to be bought out by SpaceX. So if you really want to profit by getting some SpaceX, I also would keep my eye on Tesla right now on a 3 because Tesla will 80% chance, so I'm not saying it will. If it does get purchased by SpaceX, Tesla's going to go up in value. Remember, the company that does the purchasing actually lose a little money because their CapEx spend went up just like SpaceX did with their CapEx spend. They actually doubled it from 7 billion to 15 billion. Okay, so what am I doing now? Instead of buying SpaceX at the top, I was buying some shares of Tesla. Okay, I want to keep that correct. All right. So Elon will own the space real estate if you ask me. Earnings were better than expected. And I talked about it being short-term bearish and long-term bullish. That's what I want to say. So what I want to say to you is it's okay to start buying actually at 110 on down. It is. And that's what I'm going to do. I believe it'll drop back down to 105 in days. I do believe it. Even though it's going up now, people are trying to figure this stock out. All I know is if you buy it in the range it is now or the next drop, just remember, and I want you to look at the lock up period and look at the greater amount of shares, not when the dumps are, which one is going to be right here in hours, but the amount of shares that's going to be dumped onto the market. But Remember, go back and rewind. Remember what Tesla was massively overvalued, but you and I held. It was almost like a cult following, and I don't do cults, but we held because we had the belief that it would print. I think SpaceX is going to do the same thing. I don't think it's going to drop to $50 like some of these people are saying. I don't believe that SpaceX will get to $50. I just don't. I think that $100 is a psychological level of support. And before it gets to $100, people will start buying without even looking at a chart. I think people are going to start buying at 105 again if it gets back down there. I believe that people are going to be buying here at 110. So what happens is sometimes people miss because they're trying to hit the bottom perfectly. And so what I would not be doing is putting all of my SpaceX money in right now. I would literally start to dollar cost average, actually at 110 on down. Tell me what you think. Though I will put some buy orders in at 105 and see what happens after the lockout. And remember, I'm getting one share out of 50 right now just to put my toe in the water and see how it acts, okay? I'm just buying one share out of 150 shares, okay? So I'm just showing you and sharing with you my buying strategy and what I think. Leave in the comments what you think about SpaceX for real though. Listen, there's some links below that's gonna help you be more profitable. Go to description in your phone or your computer and go to more first at the bottom and then description and hit that top link and come join us. All right, I'm gonna keep you guys posted. Live, love, laugh, and learn.